What's up, guys? This is Marcia here with another episode of the Gym Rescue Podcast, and today I have a very special guest. I have the top videographer of Chicago, hands down by far, Mr. Carlos Gonzalez. So we're going to be speaking with him today about how content is king, the storytelling is queen.
Running a gym isn't that convincing. It's a science from the entrance of the gym lobby area to overall customer interaction and experience. No other woman knows more about gym science other than Marcia Allen. Over the last decade, Marcia has helped coaches worldwide using her years of experience and no-nonsense approach. Marcia will turn their gym pits into moneymakers. Welcome to the Gym Rescue Podcast.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so Carlos, I just want you to kind of tell your story, how you got into the industry within the photography or videographer world, and just give the audience a little bit about your background.
For sure. So, generally, what brought me to the actual industry is just being creative and just overall just expressing my creativity. And it's crazy how far we've gone and how I met you through the mutual friend, and it's been a whole it's a whole blessing to just be here and be creative.
For sure. So Carlos and I met through a mutual friend.
Yes,
shout out to Damla. Yes.
Shout out to Damla.
Damla
actually. The one that actually
yes. Damla she's a longtime veteran and member of Lady Strong Fitness. And when we first started out, we're going on almost a year and a half, of knowing each other. And I remember sitting down after a class one time, and I told Damla how frustrated I was with not being able to provide content to our members in a professional manner. And she said, I have the perfect person. And she's like, I know this guy who I used to work with at Best Buy, and I want to kind of introduce you to him. So I said, okay, give me his name. And she's like, you know what? I have his tagline on Instagram. That's Go check out his work. So when I went to go search for you on Instagram, I was very, very taken back by what I saw. Your content really told stories. It was very professional, and I said, I got to get in contact with this guy. And the rest is history, and here we are today.
Awesome. So it's been a whole huge blessing. Yeah. So the way we worked and the way we kind of just put out content and provide value for everyone, it's such a huge, it's crazy to be able to have your trust, first of all. And
thank you. Yeah.
Having everything just from where we started and from where we are now,
sure.
It's we're creating a huge movement now.
Sure.
Starting with the TTS.
Yeah.
And moving on forward to spreading to other gyms. And
yes.
It just gives you more motivation and more people who you hang out with that kind of share your work.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy.
For sure.
Super, super thankful.
Yeah. No.
Shout out for Dalma. We owe you a nice dinner.
Yeah, nice dinner. Yeah,
Shout
for sure.
Out to her. We definitely owe you something.
For sure. So I think that the one thing I want to make sure the audience gets out of this particular episode is being able to, how are they able to share and tell their story in a way that their audience will understand. And I know that when you and I first met and I told you our demographic and based on the video content I would like for them to see, and I'm actually going to make sure that we get some B-roll of you showing some of the content that you shot for us. What would be your message to people that are watching it or tuning in that they should be making sure the kind of content they should be putting out to their demographic? What would be your advice for them?
Honestly, I would just I'll try to provide more value here for you guys and have everything as raw as possible, and how we kind of came out about it, and just have more value to all the content. It's all about just having very, very passionate and very most valuable content, because at the end of the day, you don't want to just seem like you're selling to everyone. You want to make sure that you're providing as much content. So sometimes you have to, I like to say, it's give and then ask. The thing is, you don't want to ask too much. You actually want to give so much that you don't expect nothing in return. Like always, whenever you give something, you never really want to expect something in return. So just provide as much value as you can and be as genuine as you can, because people will smell that out if you're trying to sell them or pitch them.
Sure.
And overall, just make sure that you have pretty good, valuable information, not just like something to lead them to their sales pitch, and just make sure that it's good source for information they can use, especially in fitness industry, because I feel like that's what kind of makes you guys stand out, is just valuable and being unique.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, such a huge industry, what you want to make sure is that you get to everyone, but make sure you get them as like as their own personal like experience. You know, greet them with their name, how they are, and how their life is. Like I've seen you know, perform with some people and like genuinely care about them.
Yeah.
That's like that's genuine.
Yeah,
that's
authenticity is key.
Authenticity is just insane.
For sure.
So make sure you're having that in mind, is making sure that the content you put out is very genuine and very valuable to everyone. Not sales driven, but more as something to provide for your brand, and you know, something you grow out of.
I like that you said that, the give
and then
versus for sure. And I think that we do a lot of that here at Lady Strong Fitness. I'm sure a lot of people that are probably watching it or tuning in are probably thinking like, oh, Marcia, I can't really afford to hire a videographer, or what would be your advice? And I remember in some instances or cases where we actually did some B-roll ourselves and we would submit it to you. I know the first ever video that you did for me, I said, before I hire you, I want to see what you're capable of doing. So I gave you some B-roll, and you gave that back to me after you edited, and as soon as I got it back, I'm like, this is it. You're hired,
Wow.
So I think that there's different ways to go about being able to, from a financial standpoint, to where it's more affordable. So if they aren't necessarily able to hire someone like you, there's other ways to go about doing it, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's like, you know, there's third parties out there that help you hire, but I mean, what's crazy is that like really word of mouth is really, you'd really appreciate it, because you can actually have someone in person to talk to, and it's just more convenient to be able to come to someone and speak to them personally, like we have, and it's easier to work with. But I mean, if you can just you know, try to have people out there to find or ask around, friend of a friend, you never know. That's why you should always, you know, keep a very open relationship with everyone. Just because, you know, you never know, it could be the next person that would know your next person that will hire your videographer. Be your videographer.
Hands down. I really do firmly believe that, guys, if you are producing your own content, you're dropping the ball on this one. And the reason why I say this is that I know for sure that my eye is much different than your eye. And for an example, even from a photography standpoint, taking photos, you know, I remember when we traveled together for the first time, even the different angles and positioning,
100%.
Is much different. So
you know what? So sorry, Dan.
No, it's okay.
But I just want to make that thought is make sure you know how to do it yourself before you can hire someone else to do it.
For sure.
You don't want to rely on just one person, because if that person all of a sudden just quits, you at least have, you know, yourself, and you can kind of make some content. But you always want to make sure that the person that you're hiring as a videographer or photographer, make sure that you know a little bit about that, so you know that they're doing their job correctly. Like I've seen you edit on your phone, and I'm wondering, like, for some reason that stood out for me, and it's like, if for some reason, like, you know, the God forbid, you know, I leave or something happens to me, I know that you'd be able to create the content. And that's awesome. And every business owner should be able to, you know, have that that skill, is to make sure that whatever happens in whose ever position, you want to make sure that you'd be able to take over that position, or you know how to do it.
For
sure. You don't want to rely on anyone else to just suddenly just leave, you know.
As you grow within your company and you find that you're getting busier with specific tasks, then you're able to start delegating, and I think that's kind of where we're at right now today. Now I'm fully capable, like you said, of editing the content, but with being able to run a business and the gym here and then doing TTS, it's like I want to hone in on my skills and then delegate these tasks to you. So, and the same thing applies to you. Don't try to do everything on your own. If you're feeling overwhelmed and maybe you don't have the skill to do the editing, find someone like a Carlos. Like you said, you can be able to find a freelancer or outsource it, but you have to be resourceful as opposed to just trying to figure out and do everything on your own. So I'm glad that you had mentioned that as well. So is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience, Carlos, from a content standpoint?
Just make sure you stay as authentic as possible, because in the long run, you could take the shortcuts and you could do this and you could do that, but at the end of the day, it's just staying genuine. And that's what, if you're a business owner or a gym owner, that's what ultimately matters, is staying true to yourself and just being like I said, just being genuine, because there's a lot of competition out there and people are just looking for the most genuine, authentic person and advice that they could give.
That's awesome. I think that's some really good advice. Yeah. I know that there's one thing that I would like to recommend is that, guys, I want you to think about it I want you to put yourself in your consumer's position, is that when they're trying to find a program, if it's a weight loss program or it doesn't matter, a weightlifting program, endurance program, it doesn't matter what it is. The first thing they do, they're going to check out your platforms. If it's your Instagram or your Facebook, and you have to make sure that when they attend that platform or go to that platform, it tells a story right away. They know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah,
and
story wins.
Yes.
Story wins. That's a huge perspective.
Yes.
I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Story is everything, because at the same time, you want to make sure that you have a passion and your presence and your past and where you're headed to, you have that kind of planned out, and in that way people can kind of empathize with you and make sure that as a business owner you also have like a story to tell.
Right.
And overall that's what kind of people see, and that's important. It's important to have with everything a story.
Yeah, stories is what sells. I always say that. Not actually you selling the actual product or service. So make sure again that you're telling a story.
Like Shark Tank. I don't know if you guys seen Shark Tank. You know how I was watching an episode with like a lady and her daughter making cupcakes, but it's not the cupcakes that sold. It's the story of her daughter and her mom, that relationship, and
and people buy into that.
People drove, like it's crazy how like so much sales were driven just because of that story of like the daughter and her mom. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I'm glad that you shared that. There was another episode too that Shark Tank had. It was a family of 3, and their mother died of cancer, and then their father was a firefighter for New York when 9/11 hit, and then he actually died from all the smoke inhalation, and he actually came up with a product. It was a cutting board, and what was really cool is that I wasn't sold on the cutting board. It was their story. I was literally crying.
Exactly.
And after that, I literally went on Amazon. I wanted to buy that cutting board, and they were all sold out. So it just goes to show, like, it's not the product that sells.
Exactly.
It was that story.
And
so
you genuinely know if you really like someone, you know that where your money's going to, and you're really, really happy about that decision as well.
For sure. Good deed. Nice. So thank you so much, Carlos, for coming in. Guys, yes. How can they reach out to you if they want to be able to get a hold of you?
You know what? You could reach out through Instagram, or if you want to email me, it's directedxcarlos@gmail. And then Instagram is @directedxcarlos.
Cool. Thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us today. Yes. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in on another episode of the Gym Rescue Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.
Thanks for joining today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really like this episode, please leave a review and sign up for our free Gym Rescue Toolkit by visiting www.gymrescue.info/toolkit. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.